I'm attorney Justin Clark. Coming up just ahead on You Have Real Estate, I got a new water filtration system in my house and I love it. I'll tell you all about that. Also, what's going on in the commercial real estate market here in Central Florida and beyond. It's all just ahead. It's You Have Real Estate. If you've been threatened by the IRS, you're not helpless. I'm attorney Justin Clark. You have the power to fight wage garnishments and to fight levies on your account. Call me now for a free consultation or visit youhavepower.com and take back control of your life.
This is a special offer from IQ Power Solar.
Stop paying high electric bills with a solar power system from IQ Power Solar. And now it's never been easier. IQ Power Solar can give you immediate electric bill relief right now when you go solar. IQ Power Solar will reimburse you for your very next electric bill. Plus, if you're a first responder, IQ Power Solar will pay your program payment for the rest of the year. Call 407-585-1018 now or visit iqpowersolar.com.
And welcome to You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, a renter, or even looking to sell your house, this next 30 minutes is designed just for you. Think of it like hitting multiple open houses, all from your living room, but with my attorney advice throughout the way. If you have questions during the show, I have people standing by literally right now to answer them. The phone number will be on the screen throughout, 407-205-0400. If you want to start your house hunt for that dream home this weekend, you will absolutely need to be pre-qualified before you do that. Dallas Lehman is standing by with You Have Mortgage. Same phone number, 407-205-0400. Great show for you today. You will not want to miss a single minute. But first, the opening statement. The opening statement today is brought to you by my good buddy Stephen Bader with IQ Power Solar. I went solar last year, as you know. I'm saving hundreds of dollars a month on my electricity bill. Also saved money on my IRS bill at the end of last year. Steve, how did we do it?
This new program offers you a 40-year transferable warranty on the product, their performance, the workmanship, the labor. That is the best warranty that's ever been flirted with in this sector, ever, hands down, right? We're giving you a production guarantee. If we promise it's going to produce something and it produces less, we'll cut you a check for the difference. We're giving you a home value increase guarantee. If we tell you that it's going to increase your home value $23,000 and the appraiser is stuck at 20, we cut you a check for the difference, okay? Trade-in program. In 10 years, if you want a cool new system or you want to add stuff up, you have loyalty credits to where you have 50% of your system. If you spent 40 grand, you have $20,000 to trade in and trade up, okay? If you move, if you sell the house, the credits stay with the homeowner, not the home. So if you don't trade up, you sell the house and you move to a new home, you have those credits to go to a new system on a new home, right? And if you move into a house that's not qualified for solar, you can then get cash back instead of a trade up. So we spent 4 years developing this program. Customer loyalties for add-ons. You want to add a battery later. You want to add a new water heater. You just got a pool. You want to add solar pool heat. You can literally do this with no cost if you're in our customer loyalty program. And most importantly, if you spent $35,000 today and you go through our program, on the 15th year, if you haven't used any credits or anything like that, we will cut you a check for the entire cost of your system.
I can't think of a better time than now to save money, save the environment, and you can do so at 407-205-0400.
Do you want to feature your home for free on our show? My name is Vivian Lehman with You Have Realty, and we've come up with a comprehensive marketing strategy to get your home sold quickly. Whether buying or selling, we have all the resources for your real estate transaction: builder, insurance, title, mortgage, and we might even know Justin Clark. All under one roof. Call us at 407-205-0400.
Today we steer towards the commercial side of real estate. We talk about residential real estate here all of the time. We know the market has been super hot in residential. We know maybe is it cooling off a tiny bit, or we're seeing some signs of that. We talk about it all the time. But what in the world is going on in commercial real estate? We're going to answer that question. Also, I got my water filtration system installed. It has really changed our lives. I can literally drink the water in my house. Look, the water in Florida stinks. Literally, it stinks. Why is the water here so bad? We're going to do that by asking real questions Every Saturday here on You Have Real Estate, we ask real questions to the truly trend-setting people in Central Florida's real estate community. Today on the show, very pleased to be joined by return visitors Rob Keeler. Rob, how are you, sir?
Good, Justin. How are you?
And Carter Burks as well. Carter, how are you, buddy? Good
Doing
to see
great,
you.
Justin. Thank you.
And Rob, let me start with you. This isn't a residential real estate show. It's a real estate show, but obviously we focus more on residential. You're a commercial guy.
Yep.
Most real estate agents either are commercial or residential. Why do you have to choose one side?
I guess probably most don't choose one side or the other. I particularly do. I think specialization within your product type is key, and it's obviously adding the best value to the customer.
Yeah, and I think you should. Agents out there, I find it very hard when you are really a residential agent and you just dabble in a commercial deal here or there. Commercial is its own little baby. It's a completely different world than residential. So if anything, have a commercial agent mentor you. If you have a buddy who's buying commercial, I get it, you want to get the money, I understand that. Maybe have someone mentor you though, because it is really a different animal. What are some of the differences in commercial real estate versus residential?
Well, residential, I mean, you face it, I mean, it's a more of an emotional. Chances are the person's going to purchase it, live in it, or purchase it and rent it. The commercial side is strictly, for the most part, an investment, whether you're owner user, using a property for your own business needs, or if you're a passive investor using the property for income purposes or tax purposes or both. So big difference in those.
I mean, I can tell you basically exactly what's going on in the residential market in this, in the whole state of Florida, really, just because I do this every day. When it comes to commercial, I don't have a great understanding of that market. What are we seeing out there?
So from a commercial perspective, I mean, historically, you can look at commercial tends to lag the residential market probably 12 to 18 months. That being said, I mean, multifamily is probably still leading the pack, not only in Central Florida, but across the nation at just continued record high vacancy rates of occupancy rates rather of around 93 to 95%. So it hasn't really taken that big of a hit on the multifamily, even though you still have the moratorium thing going on up until here recently. Office has taken the biggest hit with about a 15% vacancy. Your retail is about 13% vacancy. So the retail is probably the easiest one to spot because it's all at the edge of the street. Every thoroughfare you go up and down, you see the vacant stores and such. The industrial is another one that's leading the pack with right around 5 to 6% vacancy. So it's very, very strong market. It did not really take the kind of hit that I think most people thought, globally speaking, just some of the smaller operators that couldn't hold out.
So are people going back to their offices now?
Yes and no. So there's more people going back, but I think what happened with COVID, I heard it mentioned recently that the COVID pretty much expedited kind of some of the trends that were coming for people working from home and just having a diverse office space where some of it is office, work, and live. Some of the buildings you'll see these days will start to change the dynamics of them and the use.
What do you see happening in the future, commercial-wise, price-wise? Is the market going to keep going up? Are we going to have a crash, stay stagnant? What do you think?
Probably for the foreseeable future, into the first of next year, you're probably going to see just maybe 50 to 75 basis point hit on interest rates. So that'll remain good for those that currently own. I believe we're going to get a hike in rates over time. I believe the investing is going to continue at probably a steady pace. You know, it's tricky when you're looking at folks just dumping money into the Wall Street market, but the in real estate market, just until 2016, I think, actually become recognized as an asset class that financial advisors will put out there to their customers as well. Along with some of the other investments. So it's becoming more popular. I believe it's going to be stable and probably the way to go in the future.
Rob Keeler is here, commercial real estate agent. Let me ask you a question, Rob, because I mean, I'm a business owner as well. One of the questions you must get from your clients who are business owners is, Rob, should I rent or should I buy the space for my business? What goes into that decision?
I guess if you're buying a space for your business or renting a space for your business, you're going to look at the average rent per square foot versus what you can actually purchase that property for. If the space fits your need perfectly and you don't see a reason for expanding in the near future, probably a purchase is a better way to go, especially again with the rates where they are and some of the incentives and programs that are out there. Purchasing, I mean, long-term would be, I think, your best investment. Rents obviously are discounted right now to get the spaces filled back up. So there's kind of an immediate, I guess, incentive for the tenant, if they will. But long-term, I think the purchase is the best way to go.
I always go back to the movie The Founder. Have you ever seen that one about the McDonald's story with Ray Kroc? I guess he ended up making all of his money by owning the real estate that the McDonald's were actually on. So yeah, I think it is a tough question for those of you that are out there, business owners. Buying a place is obviously a commitment, but then you're not wasting your money on rent either. I think if you have questions about commercial real estate, Rob Keeler is your guy at 407-205-0400. I got more stuff for you. Can you stick around for a few minutes there, Rob?
Absolutely. Thank you.
But well, let me go to Carter Burks, my buddy. How are you, pal?
I'm good, Justin.
So what you don't know, since I last spoke to you, I have gotten a water filtration system in my house from you, and I love it. Which one did I get?
You got the best of the best.
Oh, did it?
You did.
Shocker.
The Puronics hygiene we
Okay.
talk about all the time. Yeah, definitely.
So what is it doing for me? What's it doing at my house?
Well, it's making your life safer and better. It's also removing all the hardness out of your water, all the chlorine, and you can also drink in any faucet in your home now.
Right.
And not worry about it.
I love it. The first thing that I noticed, though, is the shower feels completely and totally different. You don't know how bad this water is in Florida because you're just used to taking a shower, used to that feeling. As soon as I got this filtration system in my house, I feel completely different, feel better, feel more clean when I get out of the shower. Why is that?
Well, there's no more squeaky clean. That's what we're kind of used to, you know.
Right.
It's actually, you know, the pores of your skin get clogged up with all the hardness in the water. So that feeling that you're feeling on your skin is actually the natural oils coming out. That's how it's supposed to feel.
I'm not saying I look any more handsome or anything, trust me, because I don't, but I definitely feel better when I get out. But another thing is, I've noticed that my family's saving money on water because they used to go out and buy, they used to buy those big jug things. We got sick of carrying them. So they would just buy these big, 24 cases of water, and it starts to add up. Now, literally, if I want water before bed, I just go right to the faucet, put some ice in it, right to the faucet, and now I have clean, fresh drinking water. It's crazy.
And it doesn't matter what faucet you go to.
Yeah.
If you're in the bathroom, you don't have to walk all the way back in the kitchen to get a glass.
That's right.
It's more convenient.
That's a good point, because I was in bed the other day, and I don't know, long night or something. I was up late. Let's call it that. and I didn't want to go all the way to the kitchen. I just went right to the bathroom sink and refilled my my water thing there. It was pretty awesome. One of the things I definitely noticed was it was way less expensive than I thought. I mean, this is a pretty substantial system.
It is.
It looks really nice, by the way, in the garage. It looks like we're technologically.
It's like a rocket getting ready to
It
take
looks
off.
like a rocket. It really does. But I was shocked by the low price. And then when you guys came out, you said, you know what? If you don't want, you don't even have to put any money down whatsoever. There's this financing program, very low interest rate. I literally have clean water, saving money per month for like pennies per month. It's crazy. I mean, you have a lot of financing options, huh?
We do, and actually August 1st, we have a new promotion that just started, and it's 6 months, no interest, no payments.
Is that right?
So you can have your cake and eat it too, they say.
6 months to totally change your life, change the water in your house, change your family's lives, really. 6 months, no payments whatsoever. Why in the world is the water here so bad in Florida?
Many different reasons. I could probably take up the rest of the time of your show to go over that.
Let's do it.
I'll be brief.
All right.
One of the things is the water lines that come into your homes here are so shallow. I'm from Kentucky. I think you're from Tennessee originally. And the water lines up there are 3 to 4 foot deep to get below the frost line. Here, your cable sometimes is deeper than what your water line is. They're so shallow, and I've actually seen it for myself. And the city has to hit so much chlorine to keep any type of bacteria growing. So when it gets out to you, most of the times you test the water at someone's home, you have more chlorine in it than a swimming pool. So that's one of the big things here in Florida. The chlorine is so high. And plus our hardness levels are sometimes 4 to 5 times higher than anywhere else in the country.
I also notice a lot of people will say, well, I don't really need this because I have drinking water in my refrigerator, in my Whirlpool or whatever it is. I just do that. It's got a filter on it. How safe is that, would you say?
It's better than nothing. I call those Band-Aid.
That wasn't a resounding...
I call those Band-Aid filters.
Okay.
It's better than nothing, but they're low-grade carbon most of the time. And with the second worst tap water in America, you need to change that out every few months.
And by the way, what a nightmare every couple months having to reorder these things. And you're like, who do I call? I got to call somebody, give them my credit card information. It's kind of a pain. It really is.
And look at how everything's on back order right now,
I know. And don't lie to me. I know that when that red light comes on saying order filter, you don't get right on it. It's like the oil change for you. You push it a little bit. I know you do. Well, I love my system. I'm very thankful. It's amazing. You should do it as well. 407-205-0400. What does it cost to have you come out, check it out, talk to me about my options?
$1 million.
That's $1 million. That's it, huh?
It went down, though. Absolutely nothing.
Wow.
No cost, no obligation, no pressure. We'll come out and do that water test for you.
Hey, where does our water in Florida really rank nationally?
Recent study, it's second worst in the country.
Second worst.
Just behind Texas.
What do they do? What do they do to Texas? What happened over there? Why is it so bad there, you think?
We'll have to get back to that.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Water here is terrible, and you will absolutely notice. If you go with one of these systems, you're going to notice immediately. You're going to call me and thank me for hooking it up with Carter, because it is amazing. It is money saving. I figured it up the other day. I think I'm saving like $200 a month on these bottles of water, and you don't have to. Who wants to carry these things around?
And what's inside of those bottles, sometimes more than water.
Talk to me.
You got microplastics.
Really?
That's a big thing. Think about this. How many times you've gone around the stores and you see the water just sitting out front in the sunlight, just baking it all day long.
And I know it's mostly a residential system. Do you do any commercial work at all?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yes. If you're a business owner, have a restaurant, a laundromat, anything really, we can do it for you.
Excellent job. Stick around for a couple minutes, right? Speaking of commercial, back to you, Rob, for a second. What sort of, I know you're talking to business owners all day. What sort of business owners right now, what kind of businesses do you find that are doing the best? Which ones, when you walk in, they have a big smile on their face, you know?
Well, when you're looking at the entire commercial market, I would say the guys in the industrial industry.
What's an industrial?
Okay, so if you think about it in the sense of the big Amazon warehouse, not speaking of Amazon individually, but whether it's warehousing, moving a material logistically, self-storage is considered industrial. Other industrial is what they call flex space, where you have, let's just say, a contractor that has a small office area up front, but the majority of his business operational stuff happens in the back. That's considered industrial spaces too.
Do these self-storage places make a lot of dough? I think we've all had that thought as we go by, like, wow, what an easy life. You just rent out these little sheds and people put their stuff in it and you have a little code. I've always been like, I kind of want to do that.
Well, from a passive investor, let's just say you own one, whether it was a national brand or something else, those things are just cash cows.
Is that right?
Consider, yeah.
Did you know, I've had cases like this at the firm where if you don't pay, they literally can come in and sell your stuff. I think there's a TV show about it, isn't there?
There is.
Auction something, I can't remember what it is. Anyone know?
Storage Wars.
Storage Wars.
Yeah.
And I've seen it happen. I've had clients come in and say, I didn't pay my bill, and like 3 days later, they took all my stuff out of there. That actually happens.
Yeah.
You know? So those places are cash cows.
Absolutely. And what's kind of cool now, since there's vacant space out there, especially large boxes, you're seeing a lot of conversion starting to happen. We're going and repurposing some of the other real estate that used to be there, creating storage facilities. So that's kind of cool, yeah.
I am seeing a lot of them pop up, I feel like.
Well, you're going to have to, because, I mean, what are we getting, 1,500 people per week on average, Central Florida alone?
Yeah,
so
it's pretty crazy. So any other types of businesses that I'm just thinking maybe someone's watching right now that's thinking about starting their own business or buying a business. What else are you seeing that's out there doing well right now?
Healthcare. Healthcare is, well, it's always done well historically, but is on the rise. It's solid investment depending on what type of healthcare you're in. Multifamily, from the investor standpoint, owning an apartment, whether it's you're starting out with 2 units or 200. It's hard to go wrong there unless you just totally mismanage it. So, you know, it's how you buy it as well, how you leverage it, finance it if you have to, and so forth.
How does someone get in and buy an apartment complex? Does it take a lot of cash up front, or what do you see happening in that area?
Call me, I know people. No,
is that right?
Well, I mean,
Carter's making all the dough. You know, he's looking at some apartment
I
complexes.
guess it depends on your definition of a lot. There's a lot of incentives out here. There's tax incentives where the government will literally step in and reduce what you personally have to put into the game, versus others. On an average, I'd say you're 10 to 20% on most of those. And if it's a new development, then you can get in a little bit less. You got SBA programs out there for just different types of businesses, but so many things available these days, incentivized for lending and leverage.
Are they priced incredibly high right now because everyone knows that the rental market is so tight and that the rents are so high? I mean, they must be charging a lot for these apartment buildings.
There's some premium prices out there, and unfortunately, what's going to happen is the folks that are getting the highest price or paying the highest price. If the rates start to go the opposite direction, interest rates,
like
then,
up?
Yeah,
Okay.
then in a few years you could see where some of those are coming back to the market because it's just, especially if the rates are adjustable and such, where they move too quickly to absorb the.
I always hear about cap rate. They say, oh, it has a great cap rate. What does that mean exactly?
Basically, it's your cap rate is calculated by your net operating income divided by your purchase price. So when you get down to the net of things, after you pay all the bills and everybody, what's going in your pocket, divided by what you paid for it is the cap rate. So on average, I'll give you an example. So here, Central Florida, high 4s, 5%, 6% cap rate is probably what's typical for an A-class apartment.
Really?
Doesn't sound like a lot, but it's the risk that you're getting into as well. The eliminating some of the risks, so it's almost like a commodity in some sense.
So let's say I buy Bitcoin, right? And at the end of the year, it went up 5%. Is that the same thing as a cap rate, kind of? Is that sort of the same concept?
There's some similarities, I guess, but the Bitcoin and such other investments like that is certainly more volatile.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to, if you, like, again, example, let's just say your Bitcoin goes from $10 to $2. The equivalent of that in losing tenants in an apartment would be catastrophic. So, I mean, you'd have to lose just tons and tons of your inventory, or renters rather. So, I mean, it's kind of night and day in some regards, but similar in others when it comes to the math.
And I think you actually brought a property here to show us, a commercial property that's for sale right now?
Sure.
Is that right? All right, this is Kelly Park Road on 46. Is it Sanford?
No, so Kelly Park Road is actually out in the Orange County area. This is a property that actually can be annexed into the city of Apopka.
Okay.
It's one of the new exits where you're getting on and off the 417 out there.
Got it.
Or 429 rather, and that is an area that there's a new Publix that's been purchased by Publix corporate, the development rather. And they are probably within a month or two, I believe, of actually opening that store. So it's just another one of those areas that's going to explode. And this particular property is right around 5 acres, perfect for multifamily in the back with a little bit of retail exposure up front, right off the main street, and the closest one to the ramp there as far as being commercial.
Excellent. Yeah. Any questions about commercial real estate? Rob Keeler is your guy, 407-205-0400. Also, Carter Burks. Look, you got to do this one. I'm telling you, I love the water in my house now. Call Carter Burks. Same phone number, 407-205-0400. Can you two stick around for the real estate roundtable?
Sure.
You have a minute?
Yeah, got it.
All right, excellent. And now it's time for your portion of the show. It's time for the real estate roundtable. Every Saturday here on the show, I answer your questions from throughout the week. Here's what you need to do. Go to our Facebook page, You Have Real Estate. Send us a message right there, and we might just answer your question next week here on the TV show. Let's start with Sam in Tampa. I love the show. I watch on Facebook. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. I own a plumbing company. Should I rent the facility or should I buy it? I think that's for you, Rob.
Okay. So, Sam, in that regard, if you are, let's just say, you have a very limited cash coming in the door, probably the rental is the better way to go. If you can't afford to put that down payment down and purchase that, I mean, obviously, hopefully your business would exceed what you have there for square footage and your need, and you could always be a landlord at that point and go out and buy something else. So I would say, if you can do it, buy it right now.
I agree. I really do. I know that we always think we need to buy our house, but rent our office. It really doesn't work that way. There is nothing wrong. In fact, there's a lot of positives to owning the space that your business is going to occupy. All right, quickly, Phyllis in Orlando. Are there any places in Florida where the water is actually healthy and good?
At my house.
You're at my house as well. No, thank goodness.
You know, that's not really.
No.
I mean, because it doesn't really matter if you're Orlando or Lake Mary. It all comes from the Florida aquifer, and it's very polluted.
Are there some states where you're like, oh my God, the water's so good, you don't need anything?
You know, if you go up toward Georgia,
Really?
which we have our Atlanta office now, it's not as bad, but it's still they still have their chlorine problems.
I like to go to Maine in the summer times, and I feel like the water is good there, but it's just something mental. I just, you feel
Well,
clean
the next
and
time
clear.
you do, go up there, bring me back a sample.
I will. So you'll test it for me?
I will.
That would be
I will.
awesome. Awesome job, Carter Burks, Carter Water, as always. Thank you, buddy. I was very, very pleased with the service you provided, but even more importantly, I was pleased with the product. It's
Enjoy.
Amazing. I literally can't describe how I feel when I get out of the shower. It's just a different feeling.
Yeah,
Dallas Lehman, who's back there, got one as well. Dallas, do you like it or not? Wink twice if you like it. He winked twice, absolutely. Rob Keeler, it's always a pleasure to have you. Really commercial real estate agent extraordinaire. You're doing a great job out there. Always a pleasure to have you on the show. Most importantly, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me every Saturday. If you have any questions at all, you need to get pre-approved, you want to start that house hunt, the number's on the screen. Dallas, who's back there, will literally answer your call right now. I'm attorney Justin Clark, and I'll see you next Saturday for You Have Real Estate. Here with my good buddy Carter Burks with Carter Water at a house doing a full house install. Now, we're not in my house, but I do have this system in my house, and I love it. Thank you to Carter Water for what you guys have done for me.
Absolutely.
Not only am I saving money every day, because we're not buying bottled water anymore, Carter, the shower feels totally different now. Why is that?
Well, because you don't have any hardness in your water anymore, Justin. Calcium, magnesium's gone, the chlorine's gone as well. So all you have is good, clean water.
And the cost. I paid $0 up front, and literally the cost of a couple of bottles of water per month, all while having much better water. Why is the Florida water so bad?
Well, because we come from the Florida aquifer. The aquifer is polluted. It's full of everything we do up here gets down there. Then the city has to hit it with so many chemicals to make it safe to come out to you.
Right. And you know, we have families. I have a family. I feel so much better now that my family's protected from that bad water. I think what people don't understand is when you're bathing, when you're showering in the Florida water, that's also not good for your health.
It's not, because your skin will soak it up. You just don't drink it, you consume it through your body as well.
And what kind of process is that? Is this a several-day deal? You're going to have to uproot the family, or is this fairly simple?
There's no backhoes or bulldozers involved, I guarantee it. Because our patented technology with NASA and the EPA, it provides good, clean water throughout every single faucet in your home. So whether it's here in the kitchen, in the bathroom, you always are protected with good, clean water.
So when you leave this house today, this family is going to be able to turn that on and drink fresh, clean, healthy water. Is that what you're telling me?
That's it right there.
$0 down, payment plans. You're going to pay so little per month. Do yourself a favor. Call my man Carter Burks with Carter Water today. You will absolutely not regret that decision.
Just in case you haven't heard lately, mortgage rates are at historic lows. In my entire career, I have never seen them dip this low. Now may be your best time to own your dream home and stop throwing your hard-earned money away on rent, refinance to a lower rate to save money on your monthly mortgage payment, or pay off high-interest credit card and other debt. My name is Dallas Lehman, president of You Have Mortgage. No one knows when rates will begin to climb again, but they will and can go back up quickly. Call me today so we can tailor your historic rate and program. Our premier Under One Roof team is here to provide our very best for you.